You can drive a motorcycle in Phnom Penh, Cambodia. What's the worst that can happen, other than death? Hi, Eric here. Have you considered riding a motorcycle in Cambodia, but you found it too intimidating? Well, let me tell you that you don't need to. Lots of people drive every day, millions of them in Phnom Penh, in fact, including quite a few foreigners, myself included, without ever getting into an accident, and you can do it too. As far as why would you want a motorcycle? Well, of course there's the cost. You might say, oh, tuk-tuks are really cheap, but I beg to differ. $6 a day, if you're spending that on average, is over $2,000 per year just on tuk-tuks. That's a lot of money. A motorcycle you can buy for $700 or $800, and then the gas is only $3 per week. That is not very much money. And the repairs here are very, very cheap. I mean, much cheaper than in America or any Western country for sure. On top of that, there's the convenience. If you have your own motorcycle, you aren't waiting on Grab drivers, you aren't struggling with an app or a bad internet connection, you're not having to worry about haggling with tuk-tuk drivers who are trying to charge you too much because you're a foreigner. None of that stuff. You just get on your motorcycle and you go. It's really, really nice. It's very, very convenient. Finally, you've got trips that you can take out into the countryside that you really can't do so easily if you don't have your own transportation. Going out into the countryside is easy. There's tons of beautiful countryside all around Phnom Penh, and now you can just do it. You have total freedom. Wherever you want to go, you just go. You say, oh, that street on the right looks pretty cool. Go right. You have the motorcycle. You just go wherever you want. You don't have to make changes in an app or try to communicate with a tuk-tuk driver. So, if you do decide that you are going to ride a motorcycle in Phnom Penh, I have some tips for you. The first piece of advice I'd like to give you about riding a motorcycle in Phnom Penh is to just get an automatic scooter. Now, I'm a big bike guy. I've had a Kawasaki Ninja that I drove over quite a bit of the Phnom Penh area in Cambodia, and it was my daily driver. Back in Thailand, I had a CBR 500R, which I rode all over Thailand, to Cambodia, through Laos, through Malaysia. I just loved it. But the fact is that in Phnom Penh, Cambodia, or in Cambodia in general, you want one of these. You want an automatic scooter. Why am I, a sports bike guy, recommending an automatic little scooter for Cambodia instead of another big bike? And the answer is that the roads here aren't really made for the big bikes. Yes, there are some nice roads, and there's more nice roads all the time, but they've been made nice because those are the busy roads that need to be made nice first. And so you're going to be competing with a lot of large trucks and dangerous drivers. And so there's really no point in going on the big roads. So you can use dirt roads as well, but dirt bikes, although they're nice for the dirt roads that are all over Cambodia, or many times of the year the mud roads, they're just not very practical or comfortable for getting around the city. The fact is that for Cambodia, the scooter is king. It's the best thing that you can use to get around the city and the countryside, even for long distance trips. The locals take bikes smaller than this all the way across the country. The little wheels are fantastic for getting you over ruts and holes in the pavement and dirt roads, and they're great. Another problem with a big bike is that it's very hard to find parts for them. One of the reasons I got rid of my Ninja was simply that there aren't Ninja parts available in Cambodia. You got to order them on eBay or Amazon and pay a huge amount of money and wait a month for them to come in, and then you've got mechanics that don't necessarily know how to fix them. There are no big bike dealerships at all in this country. You will not find a big bike Honda dealership, Kawasaki dealership, nothing like that. But everybody can fix a scooter, and they are very, very, very cheap to fix. I had this whole engine rebuilt for $200. That would cost $2,000 in America. $200 to have the engine rebuilt on this PCX, and it runs like a dream. My particular motorcycle is a Honda PCX 150, a 2015 model. And 150cc is really plenty for Phnom Penh, where going 50 kilometers an hour feels like you're going to die. Out in the countryside, it'll get you to about 110 kilometers an hour, which for you Americans is about 60 miles per hour. It's incredibly comfortable. You have a really nice upright seating stance, and under the seat here, We basically have almost 30 liters of storage space in this thing. So a helmet and lots of other things. Can't do that in a big bike, and you can't do that so easily on a dirt bike. So scooters are highly recommended. How hard is it to actually start and ride one of these automatic motorcycles? Well, to start it, you turn the key, squeeze the lever, and push that button right there. There we go, it's on. I can barely hear it and I can barely feel it, but it's on. And if you want to go forward, all you do is you squeeze the throttle, forward you go. If you want to stop, squeeze the levers like a bicycle. So in short, if you want to ride one of these little auto scooters and you can ride a bicycle and you can go like this, you can do it too. But if you do it, let me start with step number 2, which is drive slowly. The reason I tell you to drive slowly is because on Phnom Penh roads, really anything can happen. People are constantly running red lights. They drive the wrong way on roads. People merge from smaller streets onto big streets without looking at all. People walk or run into the streets without warning. And really anything else that you can imagine or not imagine really can and will happen. As some people say here in Cambodia, road is road. The rules don't matter. As long as it's road, they'll drive on it however well they please, and so you just need to drive slowly. And if you can drive slowly enough, you can deal with literally anything that happens in front of you. Someone pulls out in front of you without warning, if you're going slowly, you can stop. So I recommend that you never go above a speed of 50 kilometers an hour in Phnom Penh, and a lot of time that feels like breakneck speed. With anything that can happen, anyone can pull in front of you at any time. 50 kilometers, that's going to be maximum. And I usually drive around 30 kilometers an hour and often slow, but sometimes 50 feels like a death speed. And if you aren't sure, just go slower. That's the rule. If you're not sure, slow down. If there's something unusual happening, slow down. If there's too many cars, slow down. That's it. Tip number 3 for driving in Cambodia is be extra observant when the lights turn green. It's safe to assume that every single time a light turns green, someone is going to run through the red side. It's just normal here. It just happens. It's against the law, but that doesn't matter. It's going to happen all the time. So anytime you see a red light turn green, my recommendation is that you just wait. Don't speed through the green light right away, and just look right and look left and make sure that nobody's coming. Eric's tip number 4 for driving a motorcycle in Phnom Penh, Cambodia, really anywhere in Cambodia, but the city especially, is beware of people who are turning into your street without looking. They do not look when merging onto your street. I don't mean that as hyperbole. I mean that it actually happens, and it is common and normal for people to just merge from a small street onto your big street and not slow down and not even look. I don't know why it is. I don't know if it's true. I heard it might be a law that people who are going in a straight line have to always give way to people who are merging, but it doesn't matter if that's the law, okay? That being the law won't change the fact that if you pull out in front of a fast-moving truck, you're gonna die. You can say, oh, but it's against the law, they didn't stop. Well, you're still dead. So always watch for people who are trying to merge out in front of you all the time. And in fact, if it were me, another sub-tip, we'll call it tip 4A, don't hang out on the right side of the road. Like, don't hang out to the far right, because you never know who's going to merge without a second glance. You'll notice that most of the tips I've talked about so far have been about safety, and for good reason. Driving a motorcycle anywhere is inherently dangerous, though you can do it relatively safely if you're careful and you follow my tips. So here is tip number 5, and that is always wear a helmet and don't cheap out. This is my helmet right here. It is $250 because it is very strong and of very good quality. But Eric, $250, how can I spend that much money? Well, you know what's more expensive than $250? A funeral. Or repatriating your body after you've died in a motorcycle accident from a head trauma can cost $20,000, $30,000, $40,000. This is $250 and it's a great helmet. Unlike the ones you can buy for $20, $30, or $40 in Phnom Penh, which are just pieces of plastic to hold your brains. These are actually very good helmets. This one in particular is called a K-Berg Fly-On. It is a 3/4 shell helmet, which means I have opted for a cooler feeling, not quite as hot, but my chin is not protected. And just so you know, when you go off a motorcycle, it's usually chin first into whatever you're going to hit. But of course, the skull is the most important thing. Removable, heavy, thick, washable liner. It's got a visor that can go up and down, protect you from the wind or from rocks being thrown up by trucks in front of you. And very importantly, it's got a sun visor, which is very useful pretty much all year round around here. So this helmet will probably last a minimum of 10 years, and you can buy new visors if they get scratched up for not too much money. But $250, I would say, is about what you would want to pay for a good helmet. And if you want to buy one, I recommend Rookie Auto Racing, which is probably the best helmet shop in Cambodia. And you can see it right up there right now on the top of the screen if you want to buy a helmet of good quality such as this one. But don't cheap out. A $20 helmet won't do much except maybe keep the police away. It won't help you during an accident. My final piece of advice for driving a motorcycle in Phnom Penh, and in fact really anywhere in the world, is to get a phone holder for your bike. That's it right there. You just squeeze this bad boy, put your phone in, and you're good to go. And now Google Maps can feed you directions to your phone, and all you have to do is glance down and see where you're going to turn and where you're going to go. No more getting lost ever again. This particular phone holder has a USB power supply, so you can charge your phone while you're driving, which is fantastic, which I guess in this motorcycle is redundant because all PCXs have right there a 12-volt power supply like you would get inside of any car. This is such an important accessory that if I were buying a motorcycle, I would bring my phone holder to where I was buying the motorcycle so I could get home. Very, very useful, highly recommended. Well, that was it for all 8 of my tips for driving a motorcycle in Phnom Penh. I hope you found this video useful, and if you did, please like and subscribe. And if you have any questions or want to see any more videos like this one, just recommend. Have a great day.